Playing with fire is bad for those who burn themselves. For the rest of us, it is a very great pleasure. Hello, tarantula lovers. I'm Alex, and you're watching Tarantula Haven. I don't have any mail today, and I don't have any new changes to the Tarantula Haven, so we won't have an extremely long intro. Today, I would like to showcase one of my all-time favorite species, and that is the Brachypelma boehmei. Yes, you heard me correctly. I said boehmei. Normally, I'd say boehmei. However, I got that from hearing other YouTubers pronounce it that way. I also had researched some of the Latin pronunciations for scientific words and the OE and the EI and how those are pronounced, and it's just kind of led me in that direction. However, it wasn't until I started watching Andrew Smith's videos, and Andrew Smith is a researcher that goes out and has actually studied these guys out in the field, and has even described a few species. So he says,
Brachypelma boehmei, first described in 1993 by Gunther Schmidt and Peter Glass.
And if Andrew Smith says that, then I'm sticking with it. So I am sticking with Brachypelma boehmei. And that just kind of hits the ear right to me, and it feels right. So I'm glad I watched his videos, and I'm glad that I heard him say that. And Lord help me when we get to Brachypelma boehmei. I don't have one, so I'm not going to have to worry about that for a little while. But I think he says Baumgartneri, so I'm going to go with that. So let's get on with it. I chose this particular tarantula because of the orange and black coloration. And of course, those are the classic Halloween colors. And come to think of it, I could almost do the entire Brachypelma genus in this series. But no, I'm not going to do that. And this is the last Brachypelma that I will do in the series. So here it is. This is Natasha, my Brachypelma boehmei. The Brachypelma boehmei comes from the southern Pacific coast of Mexico in the Guerrero state. This is just slightly south of its next door neighbor, the Brachypelma boehmei. Natasha wasn't feeling particularly cooperative today, so I had to chase her down quite a bit. It prefers dry scrubland, usually making its home in burrows under logs or rocks or the abandoned burrows of rodents or lizards. In captivity, mine has only burrowed as a young sling, but as it became larger, it preferred to stay out in the open, only retreating to a hide if it was startled. The Brachypelma boehmei is slightly more skittish than its neighboring cousin and can easily be provoked to flick hairs, especially when younger. My adult female runs hot and cold, sometimes being extremely docile and handleable, while other times flicking hairs at the slightest provocation. She will also give threat displays, but most of the time they're usually bluffs, after which she will turn and bolt and flick hairs as she runs away. This species does well at room temperature and doesn't require any additional heat. One of the questions I always get when I post pictures of my bee boehmei is if the colors are actually that brilliant or have they been oversaturated. And I always answer, yes, they are that brilliant. They are a brilliant orange in color, hence the name Mexican fireleg. And even when they're approaching a molt, their colors do dull down a little bit, and that orange, that brilliant orange, will take on an almost rusty orange color. but as soon as they molt, they fire right back up again. As slings, I kept mine in a small pixie box, then moving it to a 4x4x4 Amec box. As an adult, I keep mine in a 5.5 gallon aquarium. They can be kept on dry substrate. I keep mine bare bones on about 3 inches of cocoa fiber, but I'm planning on changing her to a substrate that more closely resembles her natural environment. This tarantula can be quite active and can wander and climb the sides of the enclosure, which is consistent with the belief that they may be nomadic in nature. Therefore, caution must be taken not to give them too much climbing height, as a fall can cause it to injure itself. They can become quite plump, so care must also be taken to not use decorations that may have sharp points as well. As is common with the Brachypelma genus, they are not great webbers, preferring to lay a web mat around their hide or burrow, but not much more. They are a great display pet, especially if you enjoy decorating your enclosures. Bee boehmei are great eaters but are prone to periods of fasting after filling themselves up and approaching a molt. These fasting periods can last for a few weeks to a few months. I keep a water dish in the enclosure for drinking and humidity. I've witnessed my bee boehmei drinking from the water dish from time to time. Because she likes to wander around so much, I actually get to hold her quite a bit. I just stick out my hand and let her walk onto it, and it gives me great joy just to be able to handle her, and she's so gentle. But here she's letting me know she's had enough of my stuff. This is a bee boehmei sling that I have, and I had originally purchased it as a Brachypelma auratum. However, it turned out to be a Brachypelma boehmei. As it molted and grew, I started to see the color pattern, so clearly it was mislabeled. And this one is not hungry, as you can tell by the dark abdomen. It's most likely approaching a molt real soon. And this is my daughter's bee boehmei, as she loved Natasha so much that she wanted one of her own. This one has just recently molted, and as you can tell, it's very hungry. What a gorgeous species. I couldn't imagine my collection without one of them. This is one of the first tarantulas that I first started actively looking for when I first started collecting. I just fell in love with that beautiful, vivid orange and black coloration. And, you know, it's been nothing but rewarding ever since. This has been one of my best ones to keep. Quite funny, one of the most handleable ones that I've ever had. And if you want to find out more about this species and other Brachypelma species, I highly encourage you to go check out Andrew Smith's YouTube channel, Love Tarantulas. He is a researcher that has actually been out on site. He's gone out in the field and recorded these tarantulas in their natural environment, and you can't beat that kind of information. So definitely check out Andrew Smith's channel, Love Tarantulas, and I will put a link down in the description for you to go check him out. And before I go, I'd like to give a huge thank you to my new Patreon supporters, Cindy Ward and Angela Hall. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. They've already helped me make a decision on the next tarantula for my Halloween species showcase. And if you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, I now have a Patreon, and I will have a link down below in the description. And there's also a link that pops up either here or here at the end of this video. I don't know where. Any contribution is definitely welcome and appreciated, and it will definitely help this channel grow. And that wraps it up for me tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check in next week and see what tarantula I have in store for you for my next Halloween species showcase. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you want to support this channel, I have a Teespring store where I sell Tarantula Haven merchandise, and I have a Patreon now, and the link is in the description. Until next time, keep loving them tarantulas.